Joining us now is former FBI Deputy Assistant Director Danny Coulson. Danny, we love having you on. Okay, Hunter Biden makes like he's totally transparent in his new book. So Hunter Biden is talking like he's totally transparent in his new book. He doesn't mention the federal investigation into his taxes. He doesn't mention anything about his laptop in his new book. He doesn't mention the numerous flights on Air Force Two to do business dealings. And he doesn't mention the Senate probe into his business dealings overseas. So there's no transparency there. No,
clearly not. The only story that matters, Liz, is what John Durham comes up with. That's the story that really matters here. Hunter totally left out the fact that he's the target of a federal investigation. He left out the fact that his laptop had such egregious material on it that the man who discovered it went immediately to the FBI. The FBI dispatched an agent that's an expert in pornography to look at it, and then the game goes on. We're going to see what kind of courage Mr. Durham has. I know he has a great reputation, but this case could have great ramifications for the Biden family.
John Durham, John Durham isn't looking into Hunter Biden, right?
I believe he is. Actually, I think he is. I think he has that.
All right. Well, anyway, so
whoever's got it. No, whoever has it, that's the story that matters. Does a grand jury have enough information here to indict? And if he doesn't, they need to get on with it. Mr. Biden deserves justice. Whether he's culpable or not culpable, they deserve to give him an answer. Either he's going to be indicted or he's not. If he's not, then say that and let him go about his business. And if they're going to indict him, then let's do it. But you know, we saw the Oklahoma bombing in 2 days. And they need to get on with this thing. It's not fair. Justice delayed is justice denied, and these cases seem to go on forever, and that's not right.
Yeah, the Delaware prosecutor is looking into it, and so is the FBI.
You're right.
You know, he didn't. Yeah, no, we hear you. Totally get what you're saying. I mean, but we just want to get where the investigations are and to get that square. You know, the big money making overseas in Ukraine and China, getting $3.5 million bucks from the the wife of the former mayor of Moscow. It goes on and on and on. You know, Mr. Coulson, I'd like you to listen to Sean Hannity on this because he was talking about this last night. Let's listen to Sean Hannity.
By the way, what about the hard drive from hell? You know, the hard drive, the laptop, the Democrats and disgraced former intel officials falsely claiming, you know, it was Russian disinformation. Is there a chapter on that? Don't count on it. And Hunter, if you're so innocent, how about you approve the release of everything else on the laptop? The pictures, Hunter. The videos, Hunter.
Yeah, so if he's so transparent and he's saying he's ethical and innocent, then why doesn't he just come clean on the laptop?
I don't think he wants it out there. Frankly, if I was representing him, I would have kicked and screamed to say, do not write a book. Stay out of that. Go low. Go below the radar, and let's see what happens here. This has great ramifications, and I think it has ramifications for the rest of the Biden family too. I'm sure they're not real happy with Hunter right now. I wouldn't be, because he's bringing a lot of focus on corrupt activity, I think. You don't get a target letter because you happen to walk by a crime. They think he did it, and we'll see what they do. I also think, and I'll predict this for you, there'll be money laundering charges come out of this also.
We hear what you're saying. I mean, he got a diamond from the guy he was working with at CEFC in China. I mean,
yes,
that's what investigators have said. You get paid like that. That's involves money laundering. Those are the allegations and charges. No proof of that yet. We're going to stay on the story. Danny Coulson, thanks for joining us. It's good to see you. Come back soon.
Thank you.